My name is Matt Longley. I'm the CEO of Visable. Visable is a hiring platform that helps companies better target and recruit college students. When we first came up with this idea, Charlie and I were both consulting, and we had stayed in touch from college, and we're friends. And we would take an idea. And this was not our first idea. We would take an idea, and without really seriously thinking about being entrepreneurs, we would just develop it. And it was just a fun thing we did. It was like we would generally take ideas that we were interested in, and try and see if they could become companies in our heads. The aha moment for us was when we had this idea and we pushed on it, and then we kept pushing on it a little longer than we had for the other ideas. And then all of a sudden we looked down and we said, we actually have a real company here. We have right now the beginnings of a real company. We've actually done a lot of the work in scoping it out and figuring out what it should look like and what the market is. Is this actually something we could do? And it took us another probably 6 months to quit our jobs and to decide that we were actually going to be entrepreneurs. It was something that was very new to us, and it's a terrifying experience. It's very exciting, but also terrifying. And so the aha moment came a bit before we became full-time, but it was a pretty clear moment where we saw that this is something that's different than every other idea we've worked on, and whether we know it or like it or not, we're becoming entrepreneurs. We get some pushback sometimes from people who say, you're a starting team of 3, you have 2 guys in the business side, and you have one guy in the development side. That's flipped. But I think absolutely that neither Charlie or myself could do this without each other. Even just creating the idea, Charlie and I both have different approaches. We have similar previous experiences, but we have different approaches to tackling problems. And so where one of us tends to run off this direction and the other one might be running off this direction, we really meet in the middle, and we're more effective because of it. I tend to be a little more conservative, and so jumping into a project like this is something that it's oh, it's fun to talk about, but I'm not actually going to do it. And I'm the person at a networking event who says, I don't know if I want to talk to that person right now. I'll talk to them later. And Charlie's the guy who just goes right up to you and says, "Hi, my name's Charlie." And so, he pushes me to come out of my conservatism, and I've learned a significant amount from it. But without Charlie pushing on his side of the table and me sort of trying to meet him in the middle, this wouldn't be a company. We're building this thing ourselves, and we're building it as fast as we can. And so I'm not a technical person by nature, but obviously I have to manage a technical process. And so I've had sort of a crash course in what that looks like and what the technical development looks like. By no means am I approaching an engineer, but there are nights where I wake up in the middle of the night and I say, I don't think this functionality is working. Or I'll wake up in the middle of the night and say, I don't think I have enough conversations for today. I think that it's the classic, waking up in the middle of the night thinking there's a test that you haven't studied for. For me, it's more waking up in the middle of the night thinking that I haven't studied enough or I don't have enough tests. What gets me most excited right now, really just having something that we've worked on for 18 months, and we've put a lot of work, a lot of research into, and we have a lot of partners that we've talked to that are waiting to see how it looks. And we're basically at the point where it's about to be born. We have, obviously, behind our development environment, we're playing with the functionalities, we're making sure they work, and that's something tangible that you can see. But when we actually hit play and go to campuses, start getting students signed up, start getting employers using it, and see that functionality and see those results, that's the thing I'm most excited about. From a competitive landscape, the status quo really is the biggest competitor. 97% of companies recruit in career fairs as their primary way of reaching students. We think that there's an incredibly large inertia to that, and it's really beyond that, there hasn't been too much innovation in the space. There are a number of small companies or a number of startups or slightly medium stage companies in the space that are focused on this problem and would be considered competitors, but they're approaching it from a much different way. Our focus is very much data. Our focus is very much the type of information that's going to help a recruiter find a student, because otherwise, the solutions in the space right now are mostly open networks where students and recruiters can find each other. That's essentially like giving someone a resume book that has 1 million resumes in it. It's not very helpful, and it doesn't give people the type of, and this is where the Moneyball comparison comes into effect. It doesn't give the people the type of information they need to take a really large population of students and narrow it down to the students who are going to be a best fit for their company.